The following characters on this list share one thing in common. They are, currently, the least popular playable characters in their respective games. How do I know this? Well, I got these numbers from the Choose Your Legends 5 results from Fire Emblem Heroes, and to those who don't play Fae or don't know what that means, every year, Fire Emblem Heroes runs a popularity poll on the entire roster of playable characters, notable villains and NPCs, and the top 4 characters, 2 male, 2 female, are given special alts in the game. While some characters score in the tens of thousands of votes, others barely even scratch 20. This video is all about the latter. This is part 1 of a 2-part coverage of Fire Emblem's biggest losers, from Fire Emblem 1 to Fire Emblem 6. Including the Kaga sequels, and Echoes. This video isn't purely a character analysis video like usual. I also want to speculate on why these characters are so unpopular in their game. Besides my usual character analysis, this sort of speculation is mostly just guesses. This is meant to be a casual video, so sit back and enjoy. But before we start, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Fire Emblem 1/Fire Emblem 3, Book 1, and Fire Emblem 11, Shadow Dragon. Macklin. Macklin placed 493rd, tying with Dice, Desmond, Numida, and Roberto. Macklin is an armor knight who appears in the middle of the campaigns he is in. He's as generic as you could possibly get, sporting a bald head. What's truly a crime is that he straight up sucks in every game he's in. In Fire Emblem 1, armors can't even promote, and his growths and bases are garbage. In FE12, he's not as bad, but he's still bad relative to everyone else. But his saving grace, asterisk, is that he's given the incredibly unique character trait of loving food. Hilariously, his buddy Dolph is better in virtually every single way and has always been more popular to use in-game and to vote for. Like all new mystery characters, he gets a base conversation with Chris, and it's nothing special whatsoever. Macklin is characterized as a loud, boisterous, and intense guy who loves food, which is, again, not very unique for Fire Emblem. Safe to say, he'll always be outdone by Dolph. Fire Emblem Gaiden/Echoes. Noma comes in at 482nd place with a powerful 22 votes. This one makes me a little sad, but honestly I'm not too surprised by the choice. I think Noma's actually a decent character with a semi-important role in the story. He has a goofy support with Celica, and he is, all in all, alright as far as characterization is concerned. The problem is that he just sucks as a unit. He's a sage, but it's Celica's route and he needs to compete with other capable sages. But he has bad stats and not even a strong spell list. He's also a late recruit, and it's entirely possible to miss recruiting him too. I would imagine that the reason he's so unpopular is that in virtually every aspect, he's outdone in appeal, from characterization, aesthetics, and performance, to most people. FE3 Book 2. Luke. Because FE3 Book 2 is its own game basically, it ought to be separated from FE3 Book 1 and New Mystery, as New Mystery combines BSFE characters too, so I figured I could just separate these categories. Luke, hilariously, is the least popular Book 2 character. He earned a pathetic 12 votes in Choose Your Legends 5, which is, wow. Book 2 Luke isn't very well characterized because, well, nobody was. But New Mystery depicts him as a reckless knight who thinks that girls will want him because he is a knight. It's not like it's breaking new ground, but it is curious that he, among all characters, is so unpopular. He's among the first units you play with in both of his games, and is actually pretty decent of a unit. You would think, following the trend of old geezers and other later Book 2 characters, they would be here first. But honestly, I think the reason he's so unpopular is because he's almost universally hated among the Fae player base. He is a shitty sword cavalier that has pity broken so many people. He absolutely never had any business being a 5-star exclusive character, literally ever. And given the significant drop in votes along the years of CYL, maybe people's resentment towards him was part of the reason he lost what little luster he had. BSFE and FE12. Raiden. Raiden is a Sable Knight of Grust who first appeared in Broadcast Satellaview Fire Emblem, and then again in New Mystery. And in CYL 5, he scored a colossal 9 total votes. That's like 1.5 people who wanted him in. Which is just, I mean, it's not that surprising, I guess. BSFE is a game that is so unheard of that people don't even know what the BS and BSFE even stands for. And Raiden, alongside his other Sable Knights in New Mystery, is a game exclusive to Japan anyway. So we're talking about niches within niches within niches. His characterization in FE12 from his supports with Chris and Roberto are pretty boilerplate, responsible knight-like kind of person. He and Chris share a common interest in being proud to serve their liege, although his dynamic with Roberto is pretty funny. Imagine Sane and Kent, but instead of Sane being a skirt chaser, it's Roberto who is a lazy, forgetful, and unorganized knight, and Raiden is there to try to hold them together. In fairness, I'd say he's much less stuffy than Kent. I'd certainly say his characterization is best when Roberto is there to be his foil. FE4. Demny. Demny, swooping in at 491st place with 13 votes to his name, claims the title of the least popular Genealogy of the Holy War playable character. This is an interesting choice to me. Demny is a substitute character for Lester if Edain didn't have a kid. Like some other substitute characters, the action he takes are a derivative of the original Gen 2 unit. Demny is a doting older brother to Myrni, much like Lester is to his little sister Lana. But he does have his own personality to a degree. As a commoner, he thinks that Prince Seliph is far too important to care about commoners like he and his sister Myrni. That said, he's a brave young lad, who used to be a crybaby, who wants to get stronger and to contribute to the war, as seen with his talk conversation with Corinne. That's kind of it for characterization. As a unit, he's basically a lesser version of Lester, without holy blood, who can't inherit any weapons. While he gets a +5 strength bonus off the bat from his talk conversation with Corinne, which is great, don't get me wrong, he still only makes for an alright substitute unit. So, why is he so unpopular? Could it be his incredibly boring character design and no terribly noteworthy characterization, and that he's a substitute? Probably all of these. I wonder what the handful of voters actually thought of him instead. It's worth mentioning that he's not only unpopular because these are substitute characters and they are completely missable in the first place, other substitute characters rank much higher than him, while others are just slightly more voted on. For example, Dalvin has 14 votes, Amid and Linda have 51 and 57 votes, respectively. But most hilariously, in some ironic twist, the substitute kid with the most votes is Myrni, his sister, at 85. FE5, Connemore. Here's a character so unpopular that even I thought he was only an enemy. And I played Thracia 776 myself. Coming in with 11 votes, just like Mr. Clean, is Connemore. He is a general of Ulster who devoutly serves Princess Miranda. Connemore is forced to take arms against Leif by the Empire, until Miranda chastises him for becoming the Empire's lapdog. Then immediately, as the princess, she commands him and his soldiers to turn against the Empire and join Leif instead, an order which he eagerly accepts. It should be noted that he joined the Empire in the first place because he was forced to, so she wouldn't be killed while being held hostage by the Lopter Church, until she's rescued by Leif. Connemore is a loyal general, but sadly, that's about the most characterization he'll be having. As a unit though, he's pretty solid, boasting good bases, weapon ranks, an authority star, and the accost skill. So, what's the deal? Why is Connemore so low voted? Well, I mean, look at his design. Look at his age. Not exactly screaming fan service in 2021. Additionally, he's a late game recruit and can even be missable as you need to select Route B to recruit him, which incidentally is objectively more bad than Route A of this game. I am honestly not shocked by this whatsoever. FE6, Yoder. This one breaks my heart. Yoder is unironically among my favorite characters in Binding Blade, but he scored a dismal 6 votes. 6! Putting him at 490th place. I wrote a support science on this man, and he's a certified classic meme on the channel, but sadly, it will never be enough. Yoder is famously known for being FE6's late-game healbot, sporting a perfect S rank in stabs and capped res. He's also a semi-relevant story character who provides Roy with legendary weapons depending on what route you picked between Sakai and Ilya. Overall, he's a decent addition to the team and can help heal, tank magic, and avoid status stabs, and can use Purge out of the box. Character-wise, I still think Yoder is great relative to the cast. He's a wise man who loves to help guide the youth, and has a bittersweet conversation with his old lover, Nime. He also has a surprisingly meta conversation about the support mechanic itself with Dayan as well. Even though my support science on Yoder is like 5 years old, the audio sucks, and it's presented pretty terribly, I still think the discussion holds up. Why is he so unpopular? Well, probably because he's a late game unit in a non-localized game with, admittedly, a very, very generic design. Yoder himself looks basically like an NPC, and I'll be honest, I was surprised he was recruitable to begin with, as neither his garb nor his face are memorable at all. But of all the Kaga era and non-localized games on this list, he definitely has the most backstory and personality out of the bunch. That will wrap it up for part 1 of my biggest losers in Fire Emblem list. Next time we'll be analyzing the rest of the series from Blazing Sword to Three Houses. So I have a few questions for the audience. Did you vote for any of these characters? Do you have any theories as to why these guys were voted so low? Are these placements even deserved? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this analysis, please leave a like and comment down below your thoughts. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. We're 2,000 subscribers away from 90,000, and your simple and easy contribution would help the channel get there sooner. So I'd sincerely appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Deuces.